workouts and everything, without all the structure you get at school?
It's been different breaking my routine that I usually have to be at Auburn, with school and tutors and strategy, all that stuff. It's been different, doing all that stuff on my own. But I had to adjust, and now it's just like I was, like I'll be in Auburn, doing really well in classes and just working out. That's probably been the main thing. Just trying to thinking about it. I really don't have a lot of resources in the house, like to weight rooms and all that stuff. So everything I do just around the neighborhood, real quarantine workouts, push-ups, sit-ups, and body weight squats and stuff like that, and jump ropes and stuff like that. It's been different though. I never really thought that stuff like this really could happen, and I'll be sitting at home in April.
Can you walk us through a typical day for you right now, KJ?
Yes, I probably wake up about 8, and I got Zoom classes. I Zoom through my classes. Then after class, I eat. Then I go work out. I come back home. If I have homework, I do my homework. If I don't, I just watch. I just chill with the fam, and I just be chilling. Ain't really too much you can do, Ain't really too much you can do.
KJ, I've talked to a couple of players who say that this time has been positive because, they're not physically having to go to class, and they can kind of devote more of their time to training and getting ready for the next phase of their career. Have you seen that be a positive for you as well, or is your experience a little different?
My experience is a little different. Like I said, I don't have a trainer here. I don't have sources to a weight room here. So everything I have to do is really just on my own. So I do drops and stuff like in the yard, like just run up the yard. It's different, but it's positive. I'm just trying to make sure that I really don't lose anything. That's my main thing. I'm trying to make sure I gain everything, but it's only so much that I could do. It's only so much. So it is positive though. The most positive thing that I can take out of this is really not really with my skills, just probably just spending time with my family. I haven't been able to spend time with my family like this since high school. Just waking up and everybody in the house and we're just having a good time. That's probably the most positive thing that I could take from this, and just make sure everybody's staying safe and staying healthy.
KJ, how are you guys as a team holding each other accountable, keeping each other motivated, and who are some of the guys that maybe have stepped up as leaders during this time?
One thing we do have scheduled Zoom meetings in the evening. And, one thing about it, everybody wants to be back around each other, so there's nobody really pulling nobody's teeth to make sure they come to the Zoom meeting. And so right now, everybody just really just happy to be around each other and just really happy to just make sure we can still talk every day, because that's something that that goes unseen but is really missed. Just the communication that we have between each other. So really, there's no true accountability. Everybody just do what they got to do. We're grown men at the end of the day, so everybody just doing what they got to do.
KJ.
Oh, you know.
Cool.
Okay, I'll go. KJ, for you being an upperclassman and knowing that this Saturday was supposed to be the A day for you, what's going through your mind?
Man, I'm just ready to get on back to Auburn. There's really nothing to be sad or to harp on, So it's really just trying to make sure that everybody stays safe, and that's the main priority. Just to make sure everybody stays safe and everybody's quarantined and everybody's practice social distancing. And football will be there, It'll be times when football gonna be there, but right now we just need to make sure everybody can make it back to Auburn and everybody can stay safe.
I know you guys are allowed to meet like 4 hours a week. Can you take us through what those meetings with coaches are like and what you guys talk about during those meetings?
The meetings just install. It's really not too much I can say. Just install, installing the defenses. But that was really all the meetings. I mean, ain't too much that we could do. Just install and have meetings, ask questions, let the coaches talk, let us talk, and that's about it. Those meetings go by so fast because they're not that long, so it's just like that.
Hey, Jay, do you have access to videos of last season, your player videos of maybe some great linebackers that you try to emulate? And if so, is there some great linebackers you'd like to watch their video?
Mainly, I've just been watching myself. I'm my biggest critic. I know some great linebackers out there with great games, but I need to improve my game. So I just watch myself right now, just making sure that I can, I know what I need to improve on. So I just watch myself and see how I can improve it. Then I go out there in the yard and try to work on something. And so right now, I'm really just studying my play right now. And then during the season, and then closer to the season, I start studying other linebackers' game.
Have you got any favorites in the NFL or elsewhere that you like?
In the NFL, a lot of linebackers come to mind. The linebacker from the Colts, I forget his name, the South Carolina State. Darius Leonard. What is Darius Leonard? I studied his game last year, and I like Denzel Perryman game. I like C.J. Mosley. I mean, all the great linebackers. Quan Alexander. I just try to take nuggets. You know what I'm saying? I can't take everything. Can't take the skill set, but you can take nuggets.
Thanks.
KJ, you mentioned things that you're trying to work on. What did you figure out that you needed to improve on heading into your senior year? Anything in particular that you're really trying to improve?
Yeah, just being more versatile. That's my main concern right now. Just being more versatile and just opening up my range. Just my range. That's
KJ, I got another question for you, if you don't mind. Is it important for you to be a leader for this team once y'all get back? And if so, are you sort of reaching out to any of your teammates, especially the linebackers, to sort of help them through this situation? Thank you.
Say it one more time.
Yeah. Is it important for you to be a leader for this team going into this season, as an upperclassman, a guy who's been a starter now? And if so, are you reaching out to other players on the team and sort of helping them through this situation?
Right, yeah. I mean, I look at myself as a leader. I'm pretty sure my teammates look at me as a leader. So leaders got to lead, But right now, I promise you, football is important. I promise you it is. But right now, we just trying to make sure everybody's staying safe. And so the conversation that we've been having is just really just checking up on everybody and making sure everybody's okay and making sure everybody's family is okay. Because I've been calling, reaching out to guys and just making sure that everybody's good, That's been our main concern. That's been my main concern anyway. Because when we get back down there, I promise you football will handle itself. But it's only, I just want to make sure everybody can make it back down there because coronavirus is real, and I don't want nobody on our team or anybody, to have to lose a loved one or have to lose their life, over, not social distancing. So that's been my main concern. And then I know when we get back down there, we're going to have a lot of time on our hands just to get back right. So.
KJ, do you know anybody or does your family know anybody who's affected by this illness and kind of stepping back from football? Just kind of what are your big picture thoughts about all that's going on right now?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm not gonna go that far of who been affected with that illness because I don't want to, I don't know if everybody I haven't got their permission, to tell, but yeah, it is real and and it is something that is very serious, but at the same time, it's just a new day and time. You just got to make sure you're right with the man upstairs and make sure that you're doing everything right that you got to do to make sure that you're not being that you're not affected. So one thing about it, it's okay right now to be selfish, with your actions, not being right now I'm kind of being selfish, just not being around a lot of people, just being around my family, being around the people who I need to be around. So, but it's crazy though. It really is just, the normal day life that I live, not just coming back home and living at home and just waking up, having to do classes online, having to, do the little workouts that you can do and do the little runs that you can do. And it's just different. It's really different.
Hey, KJ, you said at the top when you're out there kind of working out in the yard. I mean, is it just you and your headphones? Is that it? Or do you have guys?
Me and my little brother. Yeah. I got a speaker too. The speaker right here is my main thing, man. I just, it's hard to work out without music. And this little speaker right here, I just take it everywhere I go. I keep it in my phone like a pocket. I keep it in my pocket like a phone.
So it's just you and your little brother out in the yard. That's basically how it works.
Yeah, or sometimes I go hop the fence at the high school, but they've been locking it up lately, so you can't, it's only so much you can do. My yard not that big, so.
We'll take. Hey, KJ, I'm curious. A couple of weeks ago, Kirk Herbstreit came out and made some comments that he would be shocked if we even had football this fall. I'm assuming you've probably played every fall since you were a little kid. Can you imagine a fall without football and what that would look like?
Nope. I ain't even gonna try to imagine. Not even gonna try to.
What would you need as a player? A lot of talk on how many practices you guys would need depending on when you come back. Do you need more than a fall camp, or you think you could come back at 1st of August and have the normal fall camp and be in game shape?
Look, that's out of my hands. I just do what I'm told. That's above my pay grade right there. People just tell me I just do what I'm told. So I don't know how the schedule gonna work. I really don't know. I'm really not trying to know. So I just know that we just need to get back, and that's all I could do.
Where is home right now? Where are you training at?
Oxford, Alabama.
Okay.
KJ, what's on your workout playlist?
That Rod Wave, NBA YoungBoy. That's about it. I don't have too many artists, but that's about it right there.
KJ, have you talked to any of the guys that are preparing for the draft, and what are they saying about that? What's that like for them right now?
Only person I really didn't talk to was Derek, and everybody's really just still getting work in. I'm following guys on social media. Everybody's still getting work in, which is a good thing because the draft is next week or 2 weeks. So, I'm just making sure that those guys they didn't have to have self accountability to make sure that they got to do what they got to do and get ready.
We'll take 2 more for KJ.
KJ, if you could kind of go through these types of meetings with Coach Steele and Coach Williams, what are those conversations like, and how long are those conversations?
Those conversations just install, and the meeting might range from 45 minutes to an hour, and it's only like so many hours we can have in a week, so they might. But it just installed. The means just install. Defensive installs.
Jay, thanks for jumping on today. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you soon. Stay safe.
All right, we're down.
Thank you, KJ.
Thanks, KJ.
Thanks, KJ. Thank you.
KJ.
All right, we'll go ahead and we'll take questions for Bo.
I'll start. What's this been like for you to obviously be away from teammates, all those things, and have to kind of do everything on your own right now?
Obviously, it's really different, and you're used to each spring working out with the guys and being in the same city as them throughout the whole semester, and then once something like this happens, it kind of shocks everybody, and it kind of leaves everybody kind of bored and not knowing what to do. So at this point, we're just trying to, as well as working out and stuff, we're trying to stay safe and just continue to help and spread around the word that it's important to stay safe, and it's important to distance and stay inside your house. And obviously, stay clean and stuff like that, which is obviously really important and is something we've never been through. So we're kind of just taking it a day at a time, and each family member across the country is doing this.
And being in a house full of quarterbacks, does it help you to have at least two other arms to throw with and to be able to keep your game sharp?
It definitely makes it a little bit more entertaining and a little bit more fun when you have to go out there and just find a patch of grass around the city just to throw. But obviously it's fun just to be around my brothers and just to be around my dad again and just get to train with them. And it's kind of like a piece of the NFL when you get to train in the off season by yourself. And so it just kind of it's a different situation. It's hard to really describe. You just kind of, like I said, you have to take it a day at a time. And whatever you can find out in the yard to do is just what you kind of find yourself doing.
Bo, kind of piggybacking off of that, you got your first year as a college football player, and then it kind of came to a halt. So how do you think that this kind of time where you're having to train on your own and, like you said, treat it like NFL offseason, how do you think this is preparing you for that next season?
Well, I think it's great self-evaluation, and it gives you a lot of time to self-reflect, and it kind of gives you a chance to kind of experiment with new things. And when you're by yourself and you're training by yourself, you can really kind of focus on personal things that you like to get better at. And obviously, Coach Russell and the weight staff, they do a great job of getting us prepared. But when you're by yourself, you can really zone in on certain things with their help and their guidance from afar. And kind of focus in on certain things and work on stuff that you need to get better at. And for me, it's just continue to get faster and to continue to get just stronger. And obviously, the league we play in, it's a tough league, and everybody around you is fast and strong. So just to continue to keep my pace with them and just continue to get better as an athlete.
Can you go over? Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, man.
All right. Can you go over just what you're doing outside, especially with your father? Are you actually going over the install that Chad Morris is going over you with, and how are you guys working through that when you're outside with your dad and your brothers?
Absolutely. Obviously, I just kind of have a plan going out there, and I don't like going out there just to throw. Obviously, I like being prepared and have a mindset. If I'm going to go out there, I'm going to get better at something. So usually what I'll do is I'll script out a certain number of plays from our offense, and we'll go out there and I'll kind of call the play in my head and make sure I know where the guys would be, and kind of have a spring practice by myself, essentially, because I can't be around the other guys. And obviously with install meetings each week, we're just continue to learn more and more about the offense and continue to put it together, so I can just go out there and kind of put certain people in spots and throw it to them and treat it like our offense.
What are your early impressions of the offense, and what do you think, how much of it's new to you and getting used to things?
I think obviously it's similar but different. Obviously with going back to his roots with Coach Malzahn, it's kind of where he first started learning it. And so obviously there's a lot of things similar, but obviously at the end of the day, each offensive coordinator has something different up their sleeve. And so just learning those little things and how he likes calling plays, what he likes the most, and just kind of picking his brain and just learning what he likes. And because at the end of the day, the quarterback and the offensive coordinator have to be on the same page, and they have to know each other. And so I think that's the most important thing. And so as we keep going into the summer and whenever we get to go back, I think it'll be important to continue just to learn and grow with each other.
Bo, just in general, how much of the offense, Chad Morris's offense, do you think you picked up now percentage-wise, and how much more do you think you got to learn?
Well, obviously, we're only on a couple of installs because of the situation. It kind of slowed us down. But obviously, I've gone ahead a little bit on my own time and just kind of soaked up as much as I could. But I think I'm in a good spot as far as learning a new offense. Obviously, it's hard without running and repping plays at practice and having a spring under your belt. But I feel like as we continue, I'll be able to learn the whole offense by the time the season starts.
Well, what are some of those challenges of, trying to pick up a new offense without having any actual spring practices?
Just repetition and reps. And obviously being coached on the field is really important. And Coach Morris on the field, we would have had great learning moments and great teaching moments to where he can tell me exactly what he wanted on a certain play and a specific look. And maybe as we got going through the spring, different checks that the quarterback should be making and stuff like that. So you can't replace experience. You can't replace repetition. And so just without that, we'll be just a few steps behind. But, I mean, I'm not worried about it because the NCAA, the coaches, they'll take care of us as we move forward because everyone's in this position. And whenever we start, we'll start from day one and we'll move on from there.
Bo, I know over spring break you were able to go work with Joe Burrow and Sam Darnold and Jordan Palmer. Can you kind of describe that experience and what it was like to work with those guys?
Yeah, it was just obviously spring break. Wanted to go out there and work with JP and just get fundamentally sound again. Obviously, with the past, he's been one of the guys that has trained me. And here recently, after he coached me at the opening, and so usually I just go out there for guidance and advice from him because obviously he's trained many good ones, and he still trains those guys. Come back and train with him. And then obviously this year he had Joe, and he's training some really good quarterbacks. But just go out there and obviously you can learn so much from them and you can soak up so much knowledge from them and how they play the game and just how to go about playing quarterback on a level like that.
What kind of conversations did you have with a guy like Joe who succeeded so highly in the SEC last year, won the Heisman? What was kind of his advice for you moving forward for your career?
You know, I think one of the stranger things about like a circumstance like that is you think we talk about just a whole lot of football and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, we're just quarterbacks and two kids that want to get better. And so we just kind of have real life, normal conversations. And I mean, we're just, we love football, and you can see that in the conversations, whether it's me and Joe, me and Sam, or whoever it is talking. They're just down to earth guys, and they just, they really enjoy talking to other quarterbacks and just learning themselves. So I think throughout the whole process, I just realized that no matter what stage you are on, or no matter what stage you're about to go to, it's important to stay level-headed and just be humble and encourage the guy beside you.
Thanks, Bo.
Chad talked about how you were always in his office, after you got the job, and we're talking to how valuable were those times now that you didn't have spring, that you're able to sit down with him and watch film and talk about the offense, get those things done. How valuable is that time now that you think about it?
Extremely valuable. And looking back, I'm glad I did that, and I'm glad I went in there from the start. And because we really got a good jump on things, and we were looking forward to going into spring because we were already kind of ahead, and just as a quarterback room in general. And then we were going to bring our guys along as we went. So obviously, not having spring, not having an extra set of practice, and especially after a year of playing, I mean, that kind of hurts, and you wish you could have it back. But at the end of the day, everybody did it, and nobody got their spring practice. So whenever we get back, it'll light the fire that much bigger, and then you just get to go out there and play and have fun again.
Did it give you an idea of what he was kind of looking for out of you, what he wanted to kind of take your game to the next level?
Yeah, he did. He was just obviously he put a lot of stress on just implementing more concepts and more routes and different things, and then using our guys to the best of their advantage and moving guys around. And with Coach Malzahn, he with such a great offense, it was really hard to be a head coach and an OC. I mean, not many people are willing to do that in general. And Coach Malzahn put everything aside, and he did it. And so now Coach Malzahn, I mean, we've just had some conversations that are just aside of football because he doesn't have to worry about that side anymore. And so our relationship has grown from it. And so I think it's just been a great situation for the whole team. And then obviously Coach Morris and I, we've continued to get better and know what each other are thinking.
Well, kind of following up on what we asked KJ, could you imagine a year without football?
I could not personally because it's everything I've ever really known. Especially being the son of a coach. So a fall without football, it would leave many people around the South kind of lost and have a lot of people looking for stuff to do. And so I'm not sure how that would work. But whatever happens, it's in God's control. And so I'm not really worried about it.
But what has it been like trying to get to know the class of 2020 virtually? And has anyone made any first impressions on you? Yeah, so obviously this spring would have been really huge for those early enrollee guys.
and the new 2020 guys. But the rest that are going to come into summer, it's just kind of normal for them, so they won't really miss anything. But the guys that came in early, looking forward to spring practice. We were really looking forward to seeing all those guys play because obviously we brought in a really good class, one of the best we've had in a while, and so with a lot of top-notch guys. And so we were looking forward to seeing how they competed and how they played and seeing what they could do on the field. But I'm looking forward to it because I know they're hungry and they're ready to get out there on the field. And so whenever we get to practice, they'll all be fired up and ready to go.
Have you gotten the chance to get to know any of them well yet?
Yeah, I have. Obviously, the early enrollee guys, we're around them all the time, just with football functions and things like that. And the guys that haven't come yet, I've just stayed in contact with, and I'm just looking forward to getting to meet them.
Oh, how's the adjustment been to a remote instruction with Zoom classes and all that? What's that been like?
Well, obviously the meetings are a little bit shorter, and you can't, unlike spring practice where you'd see your coaches every single day almost, and with almost a majority of part of the day, you can't really do that right now. So it's just taking the time you do have and learning the most out of the opportunity, and just on your own, it's just a good self-evaluation to see how much you're looking at your playbook and going over things and watching video.
How about academically with your classes, taking those online?
That was probably one of the hardest parts, just to learn how each teacher is going to change, learn how each teacher will be different, how the work will be different, how the classes will even be different. And so that's been one of the toughest parts, is just time management now on the computer. And now I'm in Eastern time, so the time change has kind of been a little different. It's kind of shaking things up a little bit. So you got to make sure that you're always checking the time and making sure you're going to be at the right meeting, whatever that time is.
Bo, not just now, but in the future, with your dad closer by now with the Central Phoenix City job, how much do you think you'll be working with him, just not even this summer, but also in the fall, even, when you have time maybe to come home?
Right. Probably just the same as I would have if he was at home or wherever he would be. I don't think that would change much. Obviously, with the proximity of closeness to Auburn, they'll save some driving time during the season, and my brother will get to experience his college recruitment. And so my dad's really focused on that right now. And so even at home, my dad said, I'm just training one quarterback right now, and I've been fine with it. And I just know the circumstances are different. And obviously, he's always going to be one of my quarterback trainers, and he's always going to tell me exactly what he thinks. And so I don't have to worry about that really. But just as we go, we'll see about all the training stuff. But I don't see it being much of a change at all as what it's been.
Bo, sitting at home with the situation starting to set in, what are some of the thoughts that were going through your head, not being allowed to be around your teammates?
Well, that's probably one of the hardest parts, is not being around them. And spring practice is so much more than obviously just practice. You're around each other all the time, so you really get to know each other through meetings, through locker room talks, and obviously still you're going to school and you're eating dinner with them every night. And so that's probably been the biggest adjustment, is not being around the guys. And I feel like I haven't seen them in a long time, even though it's only been a month or two. But I'm just really looking forward to getting back with them and being able to hang out with them and just playing football again with them.
Has this been the longest you've gone without playing football or being around your teammates?
Yeah, especially in a while, because obviously in college football you don't get much time off. You don't really get vacations or anything. And if they do, they're only for a short period of time, so you don't really go far. And then you're right back within 5 days to see them again. And so those guys are really who you're around all the time, and those guys are really who you become so close with and become great friends with.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Bo, if you could talk about the terminology, you mentioned the install here with Coach Morris. How different terminology-wise is it with Coach Morris in this install?
Oh, well, learning any new offense, the terminology is going to change quite a bit depending on who the coach is. And Coach Morris brought in some similar concepts tweaked the names a little bit, and kept some names of stuff we did have. So it's kind of been half and half. But anytime you learn a new offense, you just got to prepare to learn a whole new offense, and you kind of got to make a clean slate of what you came from and just learn something new. But I enjoy learning new offenses. I think it's fun. I think it's a fun challenge to accept. And so just me loving football and loving how the offensive mind works, I just really enjoy learning something new and learning the new things that he has for us.
And talking with your dad in the past, he has often mentioned that he's the best quarterback in the family. Do you think you've taken over those ranks now?
Absolutely.
Bo, how much more difficult would this be if, say, this happened last summer when you're a true freshman and you're not even able to go through spring and you have to learn everything while also trying to win a quarterback job?
That would have been extremely difficult. And obviously I'm super blessed that it was, if it had to happen, it was this year after having a year under my belt. I actually hadn't even thought about that scenario. So after bringing that to my attention, it would have been really difficult and would have been really hard.
So I'm sure now that you could think of that, you can talk to the incoming freshmen that have come in, guys like Tank Bigsby, for example, that people are expecting maybe could contribute this year. How do you kind of handle those guys when you're just chatting with them on your own during this summer?
Well, now they just have to know that in the upcoming months and the upcoming practices, whenever that may be, it's just that much more important. And they don't have a spring practice to look back on and to learn from. So now they just have to hit the ground running much faster than they would have if they'd have started behind. And so I think it's important to obviously not only just on the field, but just what they're doing off the field and how much time they're putting into it off the field and how much time they're with their coaches and with other guys talking about it and really how much they want it.
So you and Caleb running routes for each other now? Are you turning into a wide receiver as well?
Yes, actually, I enjoy getting my conditioning in with running routes, and just I feel like that helps speed and agility, and so I feel like I'm a receiver too, so I feel like I could go out there and play for him.
Is that the biggest factor overall during this time right now, is getting that timing down with your tailbacks, with your wide receivers, and even in your offensive line?
Yeah, I think that's probably as far as not having a practice, that's probably the what's going to have the biggest impact on us is the timing and the different things. But luckily, unlike last year, we didn't really have the off season. We had many quarterbacks going through it. This year, we kind of knew the situation, and we were able to go out there and start a little earlier and get a lot of reps with each other. And we kind of knew who was going to be playing and certain things like that. So it was easier to do it this year. But that was definitely, obviously, the hardest part is going to be the timing when we come back. But luckily, we have some history with each other.
Hey, Bo, I know you had a pretty good season last season, but this season, what have you done in the off season, knowing that the pandemic is going on? How are you going to take the approach to this new upcoming season?
So I've just been with some free time. I've been just studying other quarterbacks around the league for the past couple of years and seeing what kind of success they had and how they had it. And so I think it's important without having a spring practice to watch as much video as you can, kind of to get those mental reps without having a practice. And so continue to stay in shape and continue to develop as an athlete while obviously learning a new offense and having to learn new things and learn an entire new offensive scheme and put it together with your mind and how it works and go out there and make it work on the field.
We'll take a few more for Bo.
Personality-wise, tell me how different Coach Malzahn and Coach Morris are.
Obviously, Coach Malzahn's he's very upfront, very blunt. He's not afraid to coach you hard, which is probably my favorite trait about him. He's not going to accept anything but perfection. And so with him, obviously I know how he would coach on the field. Haven't got much time with Coach Morris on the field, but just from talking to Coach Morris outside, he's just honestly a lot like certain offensive coordinators I've been around in the past, and just very, very live and great personality. And one thing him and Coach Dillingham had in common is they were just probably the happiest guys in the room and most energetic guys in the room. And so that's one thing that I really see in Coach Morris, and look forward to playing with him on going through practices with him and going through a season with him, and just see how he works and see what motivates him.
All right, Bo. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Bo.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bo.
Thanks, Kurt. Thanks, Bo.
Thank you.